In 1991, I was 16 years old. Imagine a younger, thinner me, clean-shaven, black flowing hair. Okay, some hair. But on that day, 3rd March 1991, I was not at any saloon. I was running vigorously down Calcutta's Park Street to AG Hospital. I just received news that my best friend, Jay, had been in a gruesome accident. I entered the arched door of the hospital, and as I raced up the 3rd floor to the ICU, I could see the entire Singh family, our neighbors, sitting over there, fear in their eyes and hope on their lips. Jay's mother auntie was sitting on the side and her head against the wall and was fervently praying. My dad was standing stoically by the ICU door. "Dad, what happened?" I whispered. "Motorcycle accident, beta. A truck came and hit him near Park Circus. Severe head injury, very low chances of survival." Madam Cocktail Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is not about some nameless, faceless accident victim. This was Jay Singh, my best friend, my bum chum. We were like friends from childhood. We'd grown up together. We shared the same family, the same friends, the same food. We even went to school together. We even loved the same ice cream flavors. We watched the same TV programs. Of course, it was Doordarshan. We even had our first crushes on the same girl. He was just like a brother from another mother. And he was right now in the ICU. I recall back our days of childhood. When we were around 8 years, we would be meeting every week at our favorite ice cream cafe. Now don't get carried away, there were no cafes in the 80s. It was more like a ledge outside a corner shop. But right outside it would be standing Mishraji, our ice cream man with his blue cart. And there, Jay and I would sit down and have our wonderful ice creams. Even in those days, Jay was the disciplined dhamaka. Cool, quiet, yet powerful. I was the creative karata. Always dreaming, always thinking. I'd sit down with Jay, our long legs on those ledges, and talk to him and say, "Jay, let's go out and explore dinosaur eggs." This was much before Steven Spielberg, mind you. Or even, why don't we create a jetpack with which humans can fly in the sky? And lost in all my thoughts somewhere, my ice cream will start to melt. "Hey Abdul, what's wrong with you? Your ice cream's melting. Do you want to taste it or waste it?" As those thoughts came back, a tear rolled down my eyes. There he was right now in the ICU, battling for his life. Even now when we were in class 9, he was the class topper doing well in cricket, football and basketball for the cricket team. I was never for all these things. For me it was study well, think well, the rest can go down the well. And by the way, what was the time for it? Jay, for what I could see, had time for everything, but I never found the time. Time for me was like my girlfriend. Always sought, never found. But you know, I believe that there is something about time. There is a super timer sitting up there, and like Toastmasters, he has 3 cards. He shows us the green card at the end of our childhood. Sometimes in middle age, he shows us a yellow card. Some of us have seen it. Receding hairlines, a grey hair, the occasional health problem. And the next card is going to be red. But none of us know when it's going to come about. And unlike Toastmasters, there is no grace period. That day, Jay was shown the red card. I remember being called into the ICU at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., standing near the glass pane, looking at it. I could just see a lump of bandages, tubes and wires, a beeping monitor overhead, fluctuating wildly. The doctors were trying to revive him, pumping his chest. The monitors beep, 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 and then settled into a static. Beep. The dhamaka had ended. It was all as if a part of me had died that day. A few days later, when I was at Jay's home, his mother, sobbing uncontrollably, took out a sheet of paper and gave me. She said this was Jay's favorite quote. He'd always keep it in his pocket or under his pillow. "This is for you, beta." I opened that with trembling hands. And I saw 4 lines written over there in Jay's scrawled handwriting. It said, "Dream, but make not dreams your master. Think, but make not thoughts your aim. Act, running every minute, a 60-second race. And that's the only way to win at life's game." So this was it. This was what Jay was living by. The secret of time management is not in managing time, but in managing self. I realized that. And I decided to challenge myself in school. I went in and auditioned and got into the school quiz and debating teams. I started taking part in extracurricular activities and became a prefect of the school very soon. I went out and started learning new things. I started learning magic. I started learning electronics. I started learning in Persian language. And I realized that the more I did, the more time I had. I've continued that ever since. Because whenever I looked at that code, I could see Jay sitting over there at 8 years old and telling me, "Abdul, this is not an ice cream. This is a moment of your life. And it's going to melt in a minute. It's your choice. You want to taste it or waste it." That habit continues even today. As I stand before you right now, I'm pursuing 2 academic degrees. I'm setting up a trust, a company. I'm also working full-time, of course giving my time to Toastmasters and several other pursuits. But this story is not about me. It's about you, and you. A lot of us have got these 14,400 ice creams. We call them minutes every day of our life. We are all in ice cream cafe in our lives. But what do? Sometimes we just get these ice creams, sit down and watch as they melt away. We are often flooded in ice creams and complain that we don't have any more. The red card has come up. But until the super timer shows us his red card, we all have a choice to make. In life's ice cream cafe, decide, are you going to taste it or are you going to waste it? Madam Contest Chair.